What's up, you football degenerates? It's SOG Football here, back with my weekly power rankings. I actually just recorded this video, 16 minutes of content, and of course it didn't save properly. But here we are, just like these teams, facing some adversity. Could be worse, could be a trapped Chilean minor, could fall off a roller coaster, break every bone in my body, but just little technical difficulties as we're back recording this video, starting off with the number 32 team on this list, the Carolina Panthers, who are by far the worst team in the NFL right now. Their defense is horrible, their offense is horrible, and now that they added Andy Dalton, there's a potential they could go from the unanimous worst team in the NFL to just the worst team in the NFL. So at least they have a low bar that they could surpass. Moving on to number 31, a team that stays at number 31 is the New York Giants. I actually had them in tier 6 with the Carolina Panthers, but they moved up, not because they played good, because the Panthers are just that bad. Daniel Jones stinks. This defense stinks. They couldn't even stop the Washington Commanders, who have Jaden Daniels, who can't really throw the ball that well. They looked horrible. So the Giants, number 31 on the list. And then 30, with the common theme of quarterbacks that absolutely stink. Bo Nix, the check down merchant, not even a Sean Payton offense. Is Sean Payton even good anymore? This Denver defense is also not that good, with Pat Surtain needing to carry it, and Alex Singleton pretty solid, but other than that, pretty junk team. Moving on, I already just talked about them, the Washington Commanders, who Jaden Daniels did look decent, but I think that's more of a testament to how bad the New York Giants are. I don't think he's going to be able to make those rhythm throws, and what the hell happened to Terry McLaurin? He's been gonzo. Somehow, Austin Eckler is the most consistent guy in this offense. Just kidding, it's Brian Robinson. And then moving on, the 1-1 Patriots, who surprised the Cincinnati Bengals in the first week and nearly upset the Seattle Seahawks this week. I just don't know if I can trust in this Patriots team going forward. The Seattle team was missing a key offensive lineman, and they were missing Kenneth Walker. And then you look at the Patriots. They lost Juwan Bentley, still don't have Christian Barmore. This Jacoby-led offense is not good. It just relies on the underneath passes. I'm pretty sure all Patriots receivers combined for about 80 yards in the year. That's just not sustainable going forward. And then moving on to number 27, the first team that moved down is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson, not a good combo. You saw Carson Wentz pretty much die under the leadership of Doug Peterson. Now it's looking like it's Trevor Lawrence's turn. He has looked awful since signing that mega deal, and the only really reliable person on this offense has been Brian Thomas, who's a rookie. Travis Etienne, okay, but on the defense is where you really have me worried, is Tyson Campbell, who just went on IR. Josh Allen can't do it all. And then moving on to number 26 is the Los Angeles Rams, who moved down 15 spots from last week. First Puka Nacua and then Cooper Kupp. This offense is dropping like flies. It's clear Matthew Stafford showed us last week he can't do it all himself, and he desperately needs some help, and he's really not going to get it from the defensive side of the football. Too many young guys and too many guys missing. This Rams team is looking shaky. And then another team that moved down 15 spots. Speaking of injuries, the Miami Dolphins just lost their star quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, who potentially could not get cleared, could have seen his last downs on a football field. That's not good for this Miami defense that relies on all these motions. Skylar Thompson came in last week and looked dog crap. Skylar Thompson is not the answers, and this team is going to struggle. Moving on, a team that could very well be 2-0 going into week 3, but the mistakes of their star quarterback, Will Levis, cost them the games. And you look at the head coach's press conference, which I find hilarious. He pretty much just went on and said, our quarterback needs to stop being a complete moron. And Will Levis, if you just don't make those boneheaded mistakes, you have a defense good enough to carry you through games. And then moving on, the freak athlete, once-in-a-century athlete, Anthony Richardson, at number 23, the Indianapolis Colts, moving down 11 spots. Anthony Richardson, with all that athleticism, you got to learn the football. You got to learn to throw the football. You got to stop throwing 3 interceptions a game. That's not going to win you football games, especially when your defense is not looking good as past years. I will say, too, I just forgot to mention this, DeForest Buckner just went on IR. That's not looking good for this defense going forward. And then at number 2, The Chicago Bears moving down 6 spots. They did impress me against the Houston Texans. Their defense looks as good as advertised, but this offense does not look good. DeAndre Swift sucks. Khalil Herbert clearly can't handle the full workload. And then you have Caleb Williams, who just has been horrendous. This offensive line can't protect him. It's not looking good for the Bears offense. And then at 21, the shocking win from the Las Vegas Raiders, moving 6 spots up. The win over the Baltimore Ravens put them more in that legit category, the potential team to upset with really good guys on defense. You have the AFC Defensive Player of the Week, Max Crosby, who went off last week. This defense is good enough, and Gardner Minshew looked pretty solid. He obviously has that gunslinger mentality, but it's clear, just don't turn over the ball and you can win some games. And then another big mover down is the Dallas Cowboys, who moved down 11 spots from last week after getting spanked by the New Orleans Saints. This defense got exposed. This offense got exposed. People love to hate the Cowboys, and now is the best time to do it. Then moving on to number 19 on this list, the Arizona Cardinals moving up 4 spots with Kyler Murray looking like a potential MVP. He was zigging, he was zagging against the Los Angeles Rams, making massive plays with his feet, only to lead to massive plays throwing the football. He loves to extend plays, and it's been looking awesome along with this defense that has shocked me this season. And then moving on, the upset, Atlanta Falcons winning against the Philadelphia Eagles. They get the 18th spot, moving up 3 spots. And that win against the Eagles, I will say, Eagles kind of threw it away, but I'm still very impressed with this Falcons defense. And Kirk Cousins finally starting to come along. Obviously, that Achilles injury is still affecting him, the way he drops back with the football, but that last drive against that Eagles prevent defense was pretty damn impressive. Moving on to number 17 on this list, the Cleveland Browns moving up 3 spots with this defense also looking as good as advertised. And then Deshaun Watson did something kind of smart. He set such a low bar in the first week. Any performance that he had in week 2 made him look pretty good. He looked way better than week 1, and clearly, as long as he just lets himself make the plays with his feet when he needs to and not turn over the football, this Cleveland Browns defense is so elite that they will win football games. And then moving on to number 16, moving up 6 spots, is the Seattle Seahawks, who did struggle against the New England Patriots, but man, this defense is filled with talent. You have Julian Love kind of exploding this year, Leonard Williams, and then arguably the best cornerback tandem in the entire NFL, Devon Witherspoon and Tariq Woolen. And then on offense, once they get Kenneth Walker back, it's going to be run first team. Geno Smith looking pretty dang good this season as well, with Jackson Smith and Jigba finally coming along. Moving on to number 15 is the Baltimore Ravens, moving down 10 spots from last week after that crazy loss against the Las Vegas Raiders. You could say it was a fluke, but I don't know. Considering how bad this offensive line looked, you have Lamar Jackson running for his life, and that's not indicative for a successful season, especially this early in the year. Moving on to number 14, even without Jordan Love, they were able to pull off a win with Malik Willis. He did the old don't turn over the football, let the defense do the work, especially at home. And then it's only a matter of time before Love comes back, which is next week. And I think he has the potential to be a top 5 quarterback for the rest of the year when he is back, as we saw spurts of that in the first week. And then next up, the surprising number 13 New Orleans Saints, moving up 12 spots. I got to start showing them some love. Derek Carr also looking like an MVP candidate. This Kubiak offense has done amazing things for the resurgence for Derek Carr and Alvin Kamara. You wonder if anyone is going to figure out this offense, but until then, you got to show them some love. They are fast rising on this list. And another team that I was too disrespectful for last season was the Minnesota Vikings. Moving up 12 spots from last week, we have Sam Darnold, another resurgence year. Obviously, Kevin O'Connell deserves a lot of love and respect for what he's doing with this Minnesota team. And it's not just this offense that's surprising, it's this defense. Stephon Gilmore looking ageless. This defense is awesome, and another big addition was Andrew Van Ginkel. Number 11, the Cincinnati Bengals moving up 2 spots. The 0-2 Bengals, how does that make any sense? Call me an idiot. Comment below. I could be completely wrong with this, but they are notorious slow starters, and they nearly just beat the defending Super Bowl champs, the Kansas City Chiefs. They looked very good, and if it weren't for a pass interference call, they would be 1-1, and they'd be looking as leaders to win this AFC North. Another team that has impressed me, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Baker Mayfield, just lovable guy. He's gone from one of the most hated quarterbacks with Cleveland to one of the most loved with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Loved by fans, loved by his coaches, loved by his teammates, and this offense is looking phenomenal. The running game does have me concerned with Rachaad White having a piss-poor yards per attempt, but you have guys like Chris Godwin tearing it up this season. Mike Evans, I'm not worried at all about them this year, and this defense led by Levante David, and then they'll get Antoine Winfield back, is going to look good for the rest of the year. And then at number 9 is the Los Angeles Chargers, moving up 8 spots from last week. Harbaugh, just what an effect he has on a team. He may have someone scouting, stealing people's plays, but I don't care. I'm a Patriots fan. I'm all for it. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. John Harbaugh just doing amazing, or Jim Harbaugh doing amazing things with this Los Angeles team. It's clear he's relying on the rushing attack, and they got a diamond in the rough. The resurgence of J.K. Dobbins coming off that Achilles injury, looking phenomenal, leading the league in yards per carry and just tearing it up. And then at number 8, the team that's playing tonight against the Patriots, division rivals, the New York Jets, moving up 6 spots from last week, pulling off a greasy win. And then Aaron Rodgers, it's only a matter of time before he builds more chemistry, before this Jets team starts chugging along. They have too much talent. Breece Hall is amazing. Garrett Wilson's amazing. This defense is amazing. They're going to have no problems finishing out the year. And then at number 7, the defense-first Pittsburgh Steelers, moving up 2 spots. I talked about a recipe for success. Justin Fields, you just don't have to turn over the ball. You can make plays with your feet. Just rely on this TJ Watt, Minkah Fitzpatrick-led Pittsburgh Steelers defense to get it done, and they've been getting it done. I will say I'm a little concerned. They're a little bit of a front runner right now. They just kind of pile on when they're up. But what happens? They're down 1-2 scores. Are you going to have Justin Fields being able to throw you back into games? That's something I'm worried about. And then we're moving on to Tier 1, the upset. Philadelphia Eagles moving down 2 spots. Like I said before, if it wasn't for that Saquon Barkley alligator arm drop, they would have had the win. I also remember in the first quarter that questionable go for a call. They could have just kicked the field goal and completely changed the optics of the fourth quarter, but I'm not worried about this team at all. They nearly beat the Falcons without A.J. Brown, and once he's back, this offense is going to keep churning. This offensive line's too good, and we just saw that the tush push is back. And then at number 5, we have a team that I don't want to overreact for. You're going to see that common theme for that first tier. It's the Detroit Lions moving down 2 spots. Very tough loss against a tough team in the Bucs. And Jared Goff kind of getting exposed a little this year, but I'm not worried. They have Montgomery on as a rusher. They have Gibbs as a dynamic rusher and catcher of the football. And then, of course, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Sam Laporta is struggling this year, but it's only a matter of time before he figures it out, as Jameson Williams also looking like what he was advertised as a first-round pick coming out of Alabama. And I didn't even mention their defense, who's got filled with talent, the addition of Carlton Davis, and I love Lee McNeil at defensive tackle. He's tearing it up, along with Brian Branch, who keeps getting better. And then at number 4, like I said, the don't overreact tier, it is the San Francisco 49ers moving down 2 spots after a very tough loss, but even tougher. They lost Deebo Samuel to injury. They lost Christian McCaffrey to injury. That being said, I just believe in this defense. I think they're going to keep greasing together some wins. They were coming off a short week, just a crazy emotional win in the first week. They are just so well coached. I'm not worried about them going forward. And then at number 3, the Buffalo Bills, who have completely shocked me. I thought number 6 last week was a little too much, but I was wrong, because let James Cook going off for 3 touchdowns, absolutely destroying this Miami Dolphins defense. It's clear the Bills are going to rush the football. I'm a little worried with 2 key injuries on the defensive side of the football. That's going to hurt them going forward. You wonder if they can sustain the success they did against the Dolphins team that pretty much lost Tua in the third quarter. And then moving on to number 2, moving up 5 spots, is the Houston Texans, which is a little crazy because they barely edged a win over the Chicago Bears. But I just believe in this team all around. They're so talent-filled on both sides of the football. That receiving core is filthy. The best receiving trio in the league, with Nico Collins, who I think is our next superstar at the wide receiver position. I think it's only a matter of time before he's in that conversation for best in the NFL. And then on defense, they added Daniel Hunter. They added Blake Cashman. They're just looking phenomenal to finish out the year. I love Derek Stingley. I think he's only getting better, and this team is going to look dangerous. This is the team that I could see dethroning the number 1 Kansas City Chiefs. And like I said, someone's got to dethrone them. Until they lose a game, you just have to let them have to maintain this number 1 spot. People love overreacting after 1 week of sloppy football, but this team is too well coached. Andy Reid's a beast. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL, and it's only a matter of time before Travis Kelce gets going. On defense, Trent McDuffie looking like his normal all-pro self, and Chris Jones just being a beast up front. Again, this team is the 2-time defending Super Bowl champions. They're looking for the three-peat, and someone's got to dethrone them. I'm not a Chiefs fan, so I'm really hoping that someone does, as I have bets on different teams to win the Super Bowl. And speaking of betting, first of all, if you enjoyed this video at all, if you want to support me, my dream is to keep talking about football. I love talking about it. I love making these lists, and I'm going to keep doing it. Like and subscribe. Appreciate all the support, and do me a favor, join my Discord if you're betting. I won $2,500 in the first weekend of NFL football, giving out all my picks for free. It's us versus the sportsbook. Join the Discord, join the community, and start winning now. And that concludes my video. Appreciate y'all for listening and watching and doing all that. Man, you guys are the best. If you made it this far, you're a real one. Peace.